When was the last time you changed your brake fluid? Listen, I'm as guilty as everybody else, and I really should have changed my brake fluid quite some time ago. In fact, according to the RAC, ATS Euromaster and KwikFit in the UK, you should pretty much change your brake fluid every sort of 24,000 miles or so. And let me explain the reason why. Now, I'm not going to teach you to suck eggs because I'm sure you've probably found this video because you know a little bit about cars. But just to recap, brake fluid is hygroscopic, and what that actually does is it takes moisture actually in the air, and over time it can degrade the ability of the brake fluid. And what the water does in the brake fluid actually kind of lowers the boiling point, which means you don't get the same performance when you put your foot on the brake. And as I said, you should be changing your brake fluid every 24,000 miles, according to the likes of the RAC, ATS and KwikFit. So today, I'm very pleased to say that Kingbolen has reached out to me to test their brake fluid tester. And this is one of those devices similar actually to, you know, the device that you can put into your antifreeze and you can work out what the concentration levels are. Well, this brake fluid tester by Kingbolen is also going to tell me if the brake fluid is good, if it's healthy, if it's poor, if it needs changing. So this Kingbolen BF200 brake fluid tester does your .3s, .4s and your .5.1s, which is the typical brake fluids that we use in our cars. The device actually just simply goes into reservoir to test and make sure that it's in good health, and it will tell you very clearly on the display. So enough talk, let's get it out there. I'm going to put it in some nice clean brake fluid so that you can see what the results should be, and then I'm going to put it on two cars, one of which is my Mercedes SL, and I haven't changed the brake fluid in quite some time, so I'll be interested to see what it looks like. So let's get some nice clean brake fluid. Let's just do it nice and clean. It's a lovely little simple device, really handy to have in your toolbox in your garage so that you can test it when you need to. And it just takes that guesswork out of whether your brake fluid is good or not. The instructions are very self-explanatory. You can actually just see what's going on by looking at the buttons on the front of the unit. So let's get into the unit and have a look. First of all, let's pop some batteries in. It takes a couple of AAAs. Straight away, you can see on the top there, we've got a nice full battery life, and it shows the different types of brake fluid. It's set at .3. I'm going to test .4 today, which I think is the most common based, so we can then move that along. But let's start off with the button on the left-hand side. That's S, so that's going to be turning the backlight on and off, which is a nice little touch. Then you've got the menu button. By pressing that, if you look at the top of the screen, we then go to .4, and then .5.1, so they're the three choices. And then on the right hand side you've got this little lamp here, and there's a light on the end there to help you see what you're doing. Okay, let's turn that off, save the battery. So let's put it to the test. Here's some brake fluid, it's brand new. So importantly, let's select the right brake fluid. So it's .4. Let's pop it in the brake fluid and see what it says. Now I'm expecting this obviously to be a good reading because it's brand new oil. And as I dip it in there, I don't have to press any buttons, but you can see on the screen that it's sitting at 0.5%. Okay, now I would expect it to be sitting at 1 or 2% if it's okay. So that's interesting. If I take it out, then the lights go off, back on again, and I can see I've got 2 bars, which is telling me that it's more than 0.5%, but it's not showing me that it's 1% or 2%, which is the OK band. That's a little bit interesting. I don't know if that's concerning, but I would expect it to be okay considering it's brand new. All right, well, let's go and put it on a real car with used brake fluid and see what it has to say. So why don't I try it on my little Volkswagen Beetle? She could do with a wash, I know. It's been sat here for a little while, but I think the brake fluid should be okay. But it has been sat here for a while, so maybe actually it's absorbed quite a lot of moisture, and perhaps this Kingbolen brake fluid tester is going to tell me that. So let's pop the engine and test it on that. Okay, so the brake bottle on the back of this is a little bit awkward to get to, but you can just about get your fingers in there. Let's lift the cap. good to have a little cloth. Make sure the cloth is clean, but the brake fluid can actually damage your paint, so just bear that in mind. Just take any drips off. Right, so let's get my tester. I know this is .4 as well. Got my light on it this time, which is quite good actually when it's dark. And it's buried at the back, this brake fluid reservoir, so actually I can see where the benefit would be. I'm going to turn off just to save my battery. So now I'm getting an OK reading. So you can see there that it's actually sitting just in the middle of the OK, and I surmise that that brake fluid is acceptable. You can just about pick that up there. We've got the bars there showing halfway between the 1% and 2%. So I'd take it that that's brake fluid is actually OK. Okay, let's carry on. I'm going to go now try it on my Mercedes, which I've topped the fluid up when I've done brake changes, but I don't think I've actually fully changed the oil, so it'd be interesting to see. Right, let's put this back on again so that no dirt gets in there. Right, just going to pop the hood. SBC pump's going. Sometimes I just love working on Mercedes. They're just so well laid out. They really are. Well, the old ones are anyway. Right, let's undo this brake fluid and see. So it actually says on the cap there .4. So just remember that some oil reservoirs have a little filter. Just remove that. And let's pop it in. So on this occasion, we're sitting nicely just at the 2% mark on the OK. So that's all good, which I'm very pleased about. Pop the cap back on. Good. Okay, let's get back to the garage. So I get a real buzz and helping people out, and that's the whole reason I do this channel. And if you want to show your appreciation, and if I've helped you in any way today, I've got a Groove On wish list on Amazon. You might want to buy me an air freshener or maybe a set of spanners or something, and it will get sent to me. It's like Christmas comes early for me, and I'll give you a shout out on my next video. Also, I've got a Groove On merch shop. Hoodies, different styles of t-shirts, bags, hats, coffee cups, drinking mugs, loads of stuff on there. The link is just below if you want to go buy some merchandise. And lastly, if you want to become a Groove On member, I'll make sure that I give you dedicated, full-on answers. I'll do my very best to solve your problem, far more than I do in my comments. I'll really look into it and do my utmost to see if I can sort your problem out. There's a member link for you in the description. Well, there you go. It can't be more straightforward than that. So what do I think? Honest opinion, like always, I'll give you my thoughts. It's certainly simple to use, but I would say that if I could criticize it in one way is, even though there's OK showing on the screen, perhaps a bit more information of why it's OK. It says that there's a percentage, 1 or 2%. So is that saying there's 1 or 2% of moisture in the oil? So that's OK. But so therefore, if it was low on the scale, that would mean surely it's better, because when I tested clean, brand new brake fluid that hasn't been used on the car, it had a lower reading than it did when I used it on the vehicles, showing that it was okay. Thankfully, it wasn't at the upper end of the scale where it was no good, where there's a little warning triangle with an exclamation mark saying there's 3 or 4%. I am surmising a little bit here that that's down to the amount of moisture in the oil. So I'm taking a little bit of guesswork here to show that the fact that it says okay, I'm okay with it. But if it was lower, then that's even better, surely. That's my take on it anyway. So perhaps if you know a little bit more about it, let me know down below and we can get to the bottom of this. But what I do like about it is using it is dead easy. You stick it in the oil. I love the little touch with the light on the end of it. It tells you if the oil is okay or not, although there's a little bit of subjectiveness. but it does tell you it nonetheless. And when we think about it, when was the last time you changed your brake fluid oil? I bet you don't know, and I bet you probably wouldn't know if it was 24,000 miles ago, which is what the recommendation is in the UK. It does the 3 different types of brake fluid. You've got your .3s, your common .4s, and your .5.1s as well. And for the price of what this is, actually, even though at first I was a little bit unsure of whether I was getting good readings or not, it is a really useful tool to stick it in your toolbox and you're ready to go. One other little thing is I left the power on and it turned itself off after 5 minutes. I like that. That's a really nice little touch, because the last thing you want is to try and you want to go and use it. You take it out your toolbox and then you realise you've left it on and there's no battery power. So that was really good. So all in all, yeah, for the price of what this is and the simplicity of how to use it, I would say it's recommended. Thanks for watching, and appreciate it if you got to the end of the video. This is your sort of thing. I've got a nice playlist at the end for you, just here. I'll see you on the next one.